Suicide is a leading cause of death for 10 to 29-year-olds in South Dakota. In 2021, the data told us that over 20% of high school students in South Dakota had considered suicide at one point or another. Lost&Found is the region's largest youth and young adult suicide prevention and loss survivor nonprofit.
Lost&Found's impact has grown tremendously over the years. Just our work on college campuses and being able to support the youth in our community from a mental health perspective and being there for them as they journey through their college life and even into their professional careers has been a huge impact in the South Dakota community. Starting in Sioux Falls all the way over to Rapid City, our support has expanded and grown, and I think it's a pretty important piece as, obviously they drive the future of South Dakota. They create the next level of leaders in our community, and I think it has to start with them. So I think that's probably one of the biggest impacts that we've had from Lost&Found's perspective.
Lost&Found is primarily focused on building community, raising awareness about mental health issues, and also implementing suicide prevention strategies and efforts so that our students on campus can be more resilient and well prepared to address those type of concerns if they arise. One story that has stuck out to me in my work at Augustana is at a program that we hosted where we were writing anonymous letters of encouragement to the campus community. And it was more well attended than we expected, so I saw some faces that I wasn't familiar with on campus, but there was one person in particular who I had never met before, had never seen before, and they came and they didn't say anything. They came alone and wrote notes furiously. They were suffering or had been experiencing for several years a pretty intense battle with mental health and suicide, like in their own family, and as they were dealing with their own feelings of suicidal ideation. And they said that had I, a year or 2 years ago, received an anonymous note like this from somebody who cared about me, even though they didn't know my name, I think my life might be especially different. And that story was really meaningful for me, to see that our work extends beyond what we ever see, and giving students the opportunity to pay that forward throughout the rest of the campus community is really impactful.
The Bush Prize came to Lost&Found at probably the most critical moment possible. What I admire and appreciate about what this prize means is it's certainly a deep recognition of the work that we have been doing for the better part of 14 years. But it's also a way for our organization to find some financial stability at a time where we really were challenged, trying to navigate changing state contracts and changing funding streams coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. And what that means for our organization in South Dakota is it certainly puts us in a place now where our organization is able to proceed with confidence that we have the financial footing to move forward, and make sure that our innovative programs and practices that we're putting forward, like a mobile app, new athletic department assessment tools, new tools for the workplace, new opportunities to partner with rural communities, immigrant refugee communities, Native American communities, the LGBT community in South Dakota, the folks that need these services the most. It guarantees that we're going to be able to move forward and build those partnerships and new programs. And that is exactly why the Bush Prize is so critical to our organization.
In retrospect, even helping those that are struggling with their own stress is very important, because the college students, for example, you're kind of just your first transition out of your home. You're living on your own probably for the first time. You're addressing new challenges with your education, who you are as a person, and just being able to provide them that resource and guidance is probably the most valuable thing that we do. I think it's almost a mentorship in the way that we help them through that journey, and being a piece of that and helping them overcome those hurdles is probably one of the biggest pieces that comes along, and most memorable pieces that we provide.
I want you to understand that suicide is preventable, but it only happens if you and I and everybody else in our community are focused on getting the tools we need to help and getting the training and support we need. If we don't take action collectively to do more to prevent suicide, we will continue to lose life unnecessarily for years and years on end, and you don't want that to happen.